Hello, this is Darcenovia here, and even though it's late where I'm at, but I figured I might as well do this. I'm bored, and I got a lot to do tomorrow, and I'm not gonna have the time to do this video, so I might as well do it now. This is a follow-up video to a video I did about a few weeks ago called "People Should Not Be Required to Read a Comic to Appreciate a Comic Book Movie," and I stand by that completely. I think it's many of the reasons why Suicide Squad was so fucking awful, and Batman v Superman. I don't get me wrong, Zack Snyder. What happened to his daughter? It My heart goes to him, but that doesn't mean I have to like that movie. It's still a piece of shit. But what I'm getting at here is those movies, you need to be a comic book fan to really appreciate them for the most part. They don't really stand on their own. Of course, the Marvel MCU isn't without its faults either. You know, they're faithful to the comics, but though they deviate a lot too. But the problem is, I think this is my issue with the MCU. You don't notice it unless you've seen a bunch of them when you marathon them. I notice a pattern. They all feel the same, honestly. And for those MCU fanboys that are like, "You're lying, they don't feel the same," when you type in your stupid comments, really? What has really changed since Avengers? Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the films, but they kind of feel the same. You have a bunch of solo films setting up, another Avengers movie, and rise and repeat. It's pretty much the same. The movies feel similar. There really isn't much creativity. Well, say what you want about the X-Men films, but they at least feel different from other comic book movies. The thing to me is the best comic book films are the ones that don't stay completely faithful to the source material. Case in point, The Dark Knight. I know a certain someone and his followers are going to freaking attack me for that. Fuck you, Hollywood God. Freaking The Dark Knight is much better than most comic book movies that exist right now, past, present, and future. Why? Because The Dark Knight actually, you could watch it without watching Batman Begins. You could watch it without being familiar with the characters in that movie. The story was engaging. Every character was relatable. The Joker was interesting. He was a great villain. The actor that betrayed him, Heath Ledger, was amazing. The Dark Knight is an example of a comic book film that doesn't need... You don't need to be a comic book fan to really appreciate it. Hell, even a Batman fan to appreciate it. That is a good movie. Now, the X-Men films, they're a hit and miss. The first one is all right. The second one is the best of the original trilogy. The Last Stand. Of course, the problem with the X-Men films, unless you've read the comics, a lot of the characters that appear in those movies, you're not going to know who they are. And that's kind of a problem. Now, why is it important for a movie to stand on its own? Because an audience is not going to care about what storyline a comic book is inspired by. They're not going to care, what a character's backstory was. All they care about is watching a movie that's going to entertain them for a few hours. I'm sorry, that's the reality. I would love to see a faithful adaptation of the Phoenix Saga done right in X-Men, but since it's 20th Century Fox and Bryan Singer, do not expect that. But the thing about comic book movies, I'm actually going to talk about book adaptations. Criticizing book adaptations for not being faithful to the source material is more justifiable. Why? Because unlike comics, since they're adapting an existing story, they already have the beginning, middle, and end, already written. And it's up to the filmmaker to bring that story to life and make it as faithful as possible. There's some occasions where the source material, it could be better than the source material, which is rare, or it could do a complete disservice to the source material and make it so the people who own the property do not ever want them to make movies again. The Hobbit trilogy. Book adaptations, they're much more difficult to adaptate than comics. Why? Like I explained before, you already have a beginning, middle, and end. And you have to decide what to keep and what to take away. And Harry Potter, a lot of stuff was cut. And to the fans of the books, it's frustrating that certain things in the books aren't in the movies, or they didn't do it in that certain way. But does it affect the quality of those movies? No. The Half-Blood Prince is a damn good movie, but a terrible adaptation, according to people who read the book anyway. I haven't read The Half-Blood Prince, so I can't comment on that. A comic book, on the other hand, is completely different, because let's use Batman, the best example, and Superman. You have so many different interpretations of those characters to draw from that being faithful to the comics is impossible. You could be true to the storyline, to the core of it, but you're not going to be able to completely adapt it because certain things just will not work on screen, or it'd be too expensive, yada, yada, yada. So the priority should be to make the film good first, rather than being true to the source material. Because if you can produce a movie that's good, then those who aren't fans of the comics will appreciate it and may want to check out the actual story it's based off of. And those who read the comics, those who are the more open-minded ones, will appreciate it as a film on its own. So comics have more leeway than a book does. And in my opinion, comics that being adapted to movies, it should be encouraged that filmmakers do something different with those characters, as long as the character is still faithful to what they are at their core. Unlike Marvel turning Captain America and Punisher and Magneto to fucking Nazis. No, don't quite go that far, but at least give a new spin on the character, maybe to have people look at him in a different way, like the Joker in The Dark Knight, like I brought up earlier. The Joker of The Dark Knight is so much different than the Joker that people are familiar with, that he's a fascinating character. And to be honest, the Joker is a crazy sociopath. He doesn't have empathy. He doesn't care about anything. He wants to see the world burn. He doesn't care, honestly. And I feel like The Dark Knight, to be honest, did more to pay respect to the Joker than Jack Nicholson. Because let's be honest, people, I love Batman '89. I really do. It's a good movie. Probably my favorite live-action Batman film. But let's be honest here. The Joker in that film is pretty cartoony compared to Heath Ledger's Joker, which is far more realistic. The character, it's more true to the character from the comics than Jack Nicholson's version. And you could actually take him seriously. Don't get me wrong, Jack Nicholson's Joker is hilarious. But that kind of Joker wouldn't work now. Of course, Jared Leto's Joker sucks. But come on, guys. We don't need to get into more details. Anyhow. I would rather a movie, stray from the source material and have it be a good movie than a piece of shit like Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman and Iron Man 3. Well, especially Iron Man 3. Fucking good. Jesus. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Yeah. That is important. And I'm going to end this video because I don't want to repeat myself. There's people that are more educated on the subject and that could probably elaborate far more than I can. So if you're one of those people that want to elaborate, make a video response if you want. Do you agree or disagree? Comment below. Anyway, guys, this is just my opinion. I believe it's more important that a comic is, movie is good rather than being faithful to the source material. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to have you guys vote. If you guys, you guys didn't turn this video off by now. I have 2 comics. I'm going to review them no matter what. I'm going back into reviewing comics. Since comics don't take that long to read, like Star Wars novels and Game of Thrones, I'm giving you a choice. Do you want me to review All-Star Batman, Volume 1 first, or Daredevil, Born Again? Comment below which one you want me to review first, and in a few weeks, depending on which one gets the most votes, that's the one I'm going to review first. I'll review both of them, but you may entice me to read one of them first. Anyway, this is Darcinovia, over and out. Have a good day, and Wonder Woman, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Peace out.